What did the president say after learning of the spirit or the thing that was found in the White House? This is fascinating. So we're going to get into this. So get something warm to drink because we're going to get into it. Also, hi, if you're new joining this channel, I'm Dr. Andrea O'Connor. And if you want to join us for some of the live sessions, you can see me on our more casual channel, Doc in the Den, DOC in the Den. We're just going to hang out and do lives. I'm going to move all the lives over to there. So join us over there. Okay, well, let's get into the first story. So I love the spiritual and ghostly lore of the White House, right? Every administration have had very interesting things go on there and have left their indelible mark of their energy and spirit of the administration that inhabited the White House. And so really, a lot of them haven't left. So I think one of the most famous presidencies was that of the Lincoln family, Abraham Lincoln. And I guess I didn't realize this until I looked into it. Their son died in the White House, their son Willie. And Mary Lincoln, Abraham Lincoln's wife, grieved for many, many years. So much so, she decided to have seances actually in the White House. And so they conducted these seances in the Red Room, which, okay, I guess that's pretty fitting. And they also held them at the presidential cottage. And at that time in the mid to late 1800s, spiritualism, like having seances and talking about ghosts, was really on trend. So this wasn't too surprising for the day. Now, people have said that they saw the young boy. President Taft's military aide said that he saw a young boy about 14 or 15 while he was in the White House, and they dubbed it the Thing, which is pretty creepy if you think about it, right? That's pretty awful. But this thing frightened the Taft presidency staff so much that some couldn't even return back to work. People said that it felt like they knew when the presence of the thing was there because they would feel like a slight pressure on their shoulder. And, you know, I just look at it like, how sad if that was the ghost of Willie or the president's son. I don't know. Hopefully that wasn't it. Hopefully it was just something else. And so during the Grant administration in the late 1860s, his staff, which included his cook, his butler, his doorman, they said they saw the ghosts of President Lincoln, Grant, McKinley, and several first ladies. Many staff members saw that in the White House. So his son, Willie, was also seen by other staff members all the way up until and through the Grant administration. And this is very famous, of course. Abraham Lincoln appeared in the Lincoln bedroom and the Yellow Oval Room. And I guess the Queen of the Netherlands saw Lincoln's ghost, as well as the First Lady, Grace Coolidge, saw Lincoln's ghost. So other presidents that are known to have been seen in the White House, they say Thomas Jefferson is seen playing his violin in the Yellow Oval Room, and that Dolly Madison protects the Rose Garden, that her spirit's been seen outside in the Rose Garden. Well, I guess I didn't know the White House had an attic. It has been known that William Henry Harrison haunts the attic, and that he was the first president to actually die in the White House. But like, why would they see him in the attic? That seems a little unusual. Abigail Adams is seen doing laundry in the East Room, and that the staff still says that they smell wet laundry and the scent of lavender when encountering her spirit. They do say, interestingly enough, for those of you in the UK, that an unknown British soldier who passed away at the War of 1812 is still seen holding a torch walking the White House grounds. So apparently David Burns owned the land on which the White House now stands, and his spirit is seen and sometimes heard in the Yellow Oval Room. I've heard that the Trump administration is opening up more parts of the White House to go on tour. I've been to Washington, D.C. and done the tour of the White House. It's so much smaller than you think it is. Like on TV, it just looks like these beautiful, huge mansion rooms. And it is quite small. And there is definitely a different energy there, whether it's due to, all the history and the imprints of everyone that has gone through there and the energy the wood in that place holds. It is. And if you're an American, you really should go to DC and at least visit the White House once. So I think now would be the term of office because, yeah, if they're going to open up more parts of the White House, why not? This is the time to go. So apparently the spirit of Anna Surratt is seen banging on the doors of the White House because she's pleading to see President Andrew Johnson. And she was there to beg for the president's pardon to excuse her mother, Mary Surratt, who was one of the Lincoln assassination co-conspirators. Like that just seems, that's just so sad. Yeah. So I just thought that was interesting. Now, if we move into more modern times, what presidents have said after they've learned of spirits and ghosts in the White House. So many of them have commented, all the way up. So until say the 20th century, let's come up into modern times. I know we're in the 21st century, but President Truman, they had found his letters that he wrote to his wife and said that he hears ghosts walking through the halls of the White House. And he also mentioned one presidential ghost in particular. Can you guess who it was? Andrew Jackson. He wrote letters that he actually saw the ghostly presence of Andrew Jackson. Now, Truman, he was he was president in the time of expansion of our country and mind, and the beatniks were soon to take hold in the 1950s. So he was pretty down to earth. He wasn't one to just talk about ghosts. So I give a lot of credence to that one. President Eisenhower told his press secretary that he frequently saw Lincoln's ghost in the White House many times. And President William Howard Taft said he was fascinated with the idea of ghosts in the White House, and he was not skeptical of any of the stories that his staff told him of all the ghosts they're seeing there. And it's interesting because remember I mentioned Abigail Adams' ghost, and it's interesting because when there was times of crisis, that's when her ghost would show up. And I know they're not giving tours in the attic, but the staff say they feel very haunted in there. And again, William Henry Harrison, that's the one who's seen in the attic. So guess what the most haunted room in the White House is? It's a hint. It's where Andrew Jackson slept. It's the Rose Room. So his ghost is commonly seen. I've always thought it was Lincoln's ghost that was seen the most, but apparently Andrew Jackson made quite the imprint there. So rumors have been swirling about seeing ghosts in the White House really since the 1800s. And, it's interesting that President Eisenhower, he really made no effort to deny the experiences he had with ghosts, in particular Lincoln's ghost. And he had many conversations with his staff and his press secretary about the times he would see them and what he would feel when he experienced. I just find that fascinating that all these really stoic, down-to-earth, serious presidents were like, yeah, I'm seeing these ghosts. And, I wonder if it made them change their policies at all, So it's very true that the White House is haunted, that over the years, many people living and working there have described all the numerous sightings of not just people that own the land and presidents, but just staff that has worked there. They've just seen people that look like staff. So even though I never saw, when I went to the White House, I never saw a spirit or anything. It's just the energy there. It's just wild. It's almost walking into kind of like a time machine because of all the energy and history there. It's just, I really recommend it. So what do you think the most haunted city in the United States is? My voice just went hoarse all of a sudden. I don't know what's going on. Savannah, Georgia. Savannah, Georgia is the most haunted city. So there are so many U.S. historic homes, hotels, inns, and restaurants. So I've been close. I've drove by Savannah. I never stopped. But if I go to Savannah, I'll bring you guys along. I think that would be really interesting to kind of check out all the history there as well. So the White House Historical Association put out famous quotes of presidents and whatnot and what their exact quotes were. And so let's see if I can relay any of them here. Yeah, I mean, nothing I guess that I didn't say before. President Lincoln's wife claimed that she heard stomping and swearing coming out of the Rose Room. And she swears it was Andrew Jackson swearing up a storm. That's a good quote to end on. She didn't say swearing up a storm, but she did say she heard Andrew Jackson stomping and swearing in the Rose Room. Yeah, and so I'm looking forward to all the new stories that are going to come out of the White House because it's interesting times we live in, is it not? So this summer might be the summer to go tour the White House. Again, join me if you want to be part of the conversation. Join me on the lives on our new channel, Doc in the Den. It's on YouTube. Just put at Doc in the Den. I'll see you over there. We'll try to do a live. Sunday night. Yeah, planning to do lives on Sunday night. Okay, everybody, thanks for being here, and I'll see you over at Doc in the Den for the lives.